presidente da Africa Foundation, Sr. Peter Evans.
Thank you, everyone. And it's a pleasure to be here this afternoon, all the way from Australia. I have had the privilege of coming here today and being able to present 3.0. I think that if we look at where we are in education today, we're at the beginning of a road, and a road which is going to lead us to a fantastic new future in education. We are very, very lucky. Last week I was in the Czech Republic, in the middle of Europe, a country not long ago that was ruled by a communist party. They were a closed country. These students now have, for the first time, had free education. And so I asked these students last week, what did they think makes a good teacher? What is it about teachers that makes students respect us, and what makes us learn? And they came up with these points. One, that a teacher needs to be interactive. They need to have entertaining, short stories. And as we know as a teacher, we can all talk on. They have to be formative. They have to be practical. They have to have workshops. They have to show 2 points of view. As teachers, we need to listen and make a decision, but also then say to the student, yes, you are right. We have to show respect for students and show respect for each other. And also, we need sometimes to move the classroom outside. Whenever I'm talking to people, I always say, as a teacher, please don't think of the classroom as where you need to teach. You can move your students outside. Technology today has had a significant effect. It makes learning more inclusive. It makes learning more immediate. For our students today in 3.0, we can open their eyes very, very quickly. They have devices, not in all schools, but they have the ability now to Google, to look into the world through technology. One of the good things about technology and where we are now is that it increases attendance. Students want to come to school. In schools that I've seen around the world, where we've got technology and teachers are using technology, students want to learn. They want to have their eyes open. I just wanted to ask you quickly, can you please put up your hand if you went to school in the 1970s? I can see a few hands going up. Can you put your hand up if you went to school in the 1980s? Can you put your hand up if you went to school in the 90s? There's just a few, which is great. And we can all put our hands up that we're all at school now. I think it's really important that we think about the future in a few ways. As educators, we need to be challenging. We live in challenging times. The world is a different place than it was in the 70s, 80s and 90s, and we saw earlier today. Passion is what keeps us in the profession. We love what we do. We like being out there. We like talking to students. We like talking to teachers. We're educators of a very exciting century and a very, as I said, exciting road ahead. In order to be creative and innovative, we need to take what works. So we don't need to throw out our old lesson plans. We need to keep those. We need to add to them. We need to add technology, take what works and build upon it. Ask yourself, what makes your lessons powerful? What works for you? We've all had lessons that work really well. Ask yourself, what has worked really well? And then we can add technology to it. Add. This group of students, you can't see the slide very well. This was a group of students who, between 10 schools, they used the comedy show, The Big Bang Theory. Does everyone know The Big Bang Theory? It's an American sitcom. They used that as the base point. So they tried to make it relevant through communication and through modern day life, everyday situations, and they took the science from that. The students had to come together from 10 schools, 3 students from each school, and present it to an audience of about 300. I was one of the judges. There were students from all over the world from these 10 networked schools. The presentations were outstanding. And I think that's one of the things as teachers that we can do is we can network. We can help each other at a level of 3.0 to work together using different schools. We all have schools in our area. We need to utilise those. Today we need to prepare our students for jobs that haven't even been invented yet. And we need to do that. And how do we do that? We do that by making learning flexible, by making it engaging, by innovative forms of teaching and learning. We develop access. We take seriously into account the students' knowledge. We must remember that the students have a lot of knowledge. And I think sometimes as teachers we forget that. The students know a lot. We must utilise that in this modern world. Rules. I believe in education there are some rules. You may disagree with me. I think we need to rearrange our classrooms. We need to change the way we teach. We need to make them open. We need to make sure that we adjust our tone in the classroom. We need to make our lessons exciting. We need to be truthful. And as teachers, more importantly today, with technology, we need to guide the students through their discussions and through their learning. Not everything from the internet is truthful. And we need to explain that to students. We need to explain that very carefully to check who the author is and not just accept. We need to drive the debate and make use of peer-to-peer, student to student, teacher to teacher. There's many free software applications that you can use in the classroom. I'm just going to run through just a few of them. You can review these afterwards. There's professional networks like Moodle, Ning, Google, and Apple Learning. And some of you today have been lucky enough to see some of the Apple displays. I saw a little bit of it. I thought it was fantastic. Apple Education probably provides us with some of the most fantastic and innovative ideas. They represent 70% of our hardware and are increasing the information that they hold on their sites. iTunes U also has a whole lot of information. Please just get on there and play and allow your students to do the same. Classroom 2.0 is a social network for educators, and it's at classroom20.com. Worth having a look at. Utopia, the George Lucas Foundation, another great one. Worth going, having a look at that. There's lots of information for you, and it's free. Moodle is a good management course, so good for the school to take on as a whole. And with Moodle, I've utilised it in a number of schools. It's a great tool where you can post work, post assignments, mark work, make comments, and give announcements to your students. It can also be used as a very good attendance monitor. And Ning is another free online teaching. One of my favourites is amodo.com. Amodo helps connect with all learners and people. I would really entrust you to all take this site down. This is one of the best sites. It's free, it's interactive. But the best thing about it as a teacher, when you're stuck for an idea, when you're looking for that lesson plan, teachers post it to teachers in a forum. You'll get an answer within 3 minutes, most of the time. You'll be able to view students' work. You can post an idea. And I'm sorry I can't read what I've got on there, but there was a science teacher there. He was doing an experiment in Seattle, in the USA, and he got a response within 3 minutes from a science teacher in Denmark who was doing the same topic with his students, and he just finished it, so he was able to give him some up-to-date information which was allowing him then to put it into his lesson plan for the next day. So on Amodo, there are so many different topics. You can put your class on there, and up here is a list of students on here. Up there in the other corner is their work. The teacher can post the comments on there, and there's also pictures of the students, pictures of their work. Another one there, this is the teacher's comments back. So emodo.com, very important. Longpo. It's a global education development between an Indian school and a group of schools in the Czech Republic. Another free on-site learning tool. The uniqueness of this lies in the methodology. Another one to read through. These are all free to register. Email address, password, you can log your students in, you can log yourself in. This is a meeting place. It's a social networking site. And it's been created for students and teachers. It actually has some units of work which can cover up to 6 months. Or they can be single units, single lesson plans. So you can put them into your curriculum. For example, there's a unit on water. Now I know that every curriculum in the world has units on water. This has an excellent unit on water, as well as what Emodo has. It increases our resources as teachers. It follows the latest trends in teaching multicultural education. And as global teachers in a global world in 3.0, we need to practice that. We need to build our classrooms that are open learning centres. And it identifies there a number of different areas. Please go onto the website and have a look. One of the other things that I think is really important in education is learning beyond the walls of the classroom. And part of my other job experience is service learning. I formed a foundation 10 years ago which we take students from international schools and from other schools to South Africa to spend 10 days experiencing life in the rural schools. This is one of the schools. In this particular school, we've got 600 students with four classrooms. Over 110 students per classroom in a normal classroom. The teachers find it very, very difficult. And it certainly is a long way from 3.0. It's not 2.0. I don't even think I'd call it 1.0 learning. But the teachers have passion and are motivated. One of the things that we've been able to do through technology is communicate. And we've been able to raise funds. We've been able to put water onto the schools. By putting water onto the schools, we're able to do projects. Projects that change thousands of lives. The schools were then able then to enter through their one computer in the school, enter a competition called Trees to Life, and they actually won the State's Award through that program. That just gives you an example of some of the housing in the area. Very, very poor. Water needs to be collected every 2 days in these 20-gallon containers. Time is running short, so I need to move on as fast as I can. If we think about South Africa, you may think that it's very similar to Brazil in lots of ways. Modern cities, rural areas. They both have common places. They're both moving forward to provide us with good illustrations of where teachers are going. And as teachers, we're all moving in the right direction, but we must keep moving. Up there I've got just some points. Very quickly, we need to regularly review. We need to encourage students from cultural backgrounds to contribute. So other students, from other towns, other villages. We need to acknowledge the value of student input. As Thomas Edison said, invention is 1%, inspiration 99%. So we need to inspire our students. Another great website for you to look at and for you to work with your students with is geocaching. It's a game where you use a tablet, a GPS, on your phone or on your computer. You can set them up where you as a teacher can hide this particular little, it's like a film capsule, and inside that you can set up a worldwide game. Great website, very clear. All of these websites can be translated into Portuguese using Google Translate or Bing.com. Both of them work very effectively. This is an example of us using one in Africa about 6 months ago. And I organised that, and it was an activity that lasted for about 2 hours, but at the end the students had gained a whole lot of new skills. You can have teams, and you can also use it back in the classroom as well. But once again, it gets students out of the classroom. It involves technology, and that's what we need to do. Remember that ideas come from others. We need to talk to each other. We need to share things. And if we go back to the Emodo site, I really hope you can get on there and look at the information. There is lots and lots of great ideas. Thank you so much for your time today. It's been an absolute pleasure coming to Brazil for the first time. So please contact me, talk to me for any assistance. Join me on an amazing educational safari. Have a look at our website, and my address is there. So thank you very, very much for today.